From Hollywood, it's time now for Edmund O'Brien as...
Johnny Dollar.
Is this Mr. Dollar, the insurance investigator?
That's right.
My name is Mason, Carl Mason. I'm an adjuster from Sierra All Risk, a West Coast company.
Yeah?
I need some help. I flew east to meet the claim of a beneficiary, a $40,000 policy. Her name is Jackie Cleaver. Now that I'm here, I can't find her.
You mean she's missing?
I can't find her. I have an address, but it led me up a blind alley. I've got the authority to hire you if you're free.
We can talk about it.
Good. I had correspondence with her just last week. It's strange she should drop out of sight so suddenly.
Edmund O'Brien in a transcribed adventure of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Sierra All Risk Insurance Company, 5th and Hill Streets, Los Angeles, California. The following, like it or not, is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Jackie Cleaver matter. Expense account item 1, $250, cab fare from my apartment to the Excelsior Hotel, Hartford, where I was directed to room 216 and Mr. Carl Mason.
I'm having drinks sent up. Or is this too early for you, Easton?
Well, it's a little for me, thanks.
It's the first time I've been in this part of the country for 6 years. One thing you can say for it, it doesn't change, except for the weather. The West changes every day.
So I've heard.
I'm still growing up. I heard a lot of good things about you, Dollar.
No? That's something new.
When I ran into this stone wall looking for this Jackie Cleaver, I called a few of the companies around here. They all suggested you.
Probably to keep me out of their hair. What's the background on this thing?
I've got it all here. Policies in the name of Schumacher, Howard Schumacher. He was killed in a traffic accident out there. Lots of them, you know. Here, see? Her address was listed as 382 Gardner Street in Manchester. That's just a few miles east of here.
I know the place. What'd you learn there?
It's a queer sort of a place. A man running around in trousers and a set of long underwear. I got the idea that he was lying to me.
What did he say?
That she hadn't lived there in 2 months. Now, how could that be when I've had correspondence with this Cleaver woman in the past 2 weeks?
A mail could have been forwarded to someplace else from the Manchester post office. What was the return address on her letters to you?
I didn't notice. I think she would have mentioned any change, but she didn't. This man, Forsland was his name, said she moved to a place called Middletown, but he didn't have an address. I went over there, but it's too big a place for an untrained man like me.
Let me see that. Yeah. This says she's Schumacher's wife.
Ex-wife, I believe. Will you take it over for me?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take a crack at it, anyway.
Good. You can take these forms with you. This is the one we want signed. And here's one of my business cards. I'll jot the phone and room number down for you.
Thanks. I'll let you know what I find out. Expense account item 2, $35, car rental and mileage. It was 3 o'clock when I left the Excelsior Hotel, but I figured there was enough left of the afternoon to make the short trip to Manchester and back. Jackie Cleaver's address there was a big frame house set back from the street at the edge of town. A sign that stuck out from a snowdrift called it a convalescent home.
Yes?
You Mr. Forsland?
I am.
Well, my name is Dollar. I'm an insurance investigator.
Are you the same as that other one?
I'd like to talk to you about the same woman.
Well, you better come in. You got to close the door one way or t'other.
Thanks.
Might find it too warm in here. Got to keep it that way for my patients. Now, what's the matter with that Cleaver woman?
Nothing that I know of. Man left her $40,000. I'm trying to find her so she can get it.
$40,000? Wouldn't take you long to find me, I can tell you that.
Are you sure she didn't say anything about where she was going when she left here?
Well, she just picked up and packed one morning saying she'd write, which she never did.
She give any reason?
Said she needed a change.
Was she an invalid?
Not so as you can notice. Came here for a rest, she said. She was well enough to go clean into Hartford to a bank when a check came twice a month.
Did she have any friends I could look up? Anyone come to see her?
Nobody, I'd say. She was a lonely woman. Wouldn't talk about herself.
Did you happen to notice where her mail came from?
Wasn't any except for checks. They came from California, Los Angeles.
Uh-huh. Well, I won't take up any more of your time, Mr. Forsland. Thanks a lot.
Not so much good, I can tell you.
Oh, what does she look like? I've never seen her.
Oh, 40-ish, I'd say. Well turned out for that age. Add a bit of color to her hair, I expect. That was brown. Sharpest features and knowing eyes. Saw a lot of life in her time, I'd say. She was strange. Not peculiar, you understand. Just strange.
I caught the Manchester post office before it closed, and a cooperative clerk there gave me her forwarding address in Middletown. It's about 15 miles south of Hartford, and I drove down there after dinner that same night. It wasn't quite the setting you'd expect for a divorcee who received checks from California twice a month, and who was in line for $40,000. It was a ratty little hotel on the darker end of town. There was one man in the lobby and one woman behind the desk.
Oh, good evening, mister. What'll it be?
I understand you have a Mrs. Jackie Cleaver staying here.
Jackie Cleaver. You kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. Is she in?
She don't stay here anymore.
You know where she went?
It's hard to tell about Jackie. What do you want with her, honey?
An insurance company wants to find her. Somebody left her $40,000 in a policy.
Are you kidding?
She was married to a man named Schumacher in California.
Jackie was married?
And divorced. But she stayed on as beneficiary.
Huh. She never said anything about that marriage, but there's plenty of her that doesn't come out.
You sound like you know her pretty well.
Not as well as some, I guess.
When did she leave here?
Oh, 2 or 3 weeks ago, anyway. I can look it up.
More important, do you know where she went?
No, not exactly. She said something about New Haven. You might try the Bridgeport house.
All right, I will.
Imagine her married. That must be why she got those checks from out west.
They came here, too?
Yeah, alimony. Well, that's Jackie. I hope you find her, mister.
Thanks, so do I.
Hey,
Yeah?
I'll walk out with you.
All right.
What's this about, Jackie?
You must have heard all of it if you heard any. Are you a friend of hers?
Yeah. Yeah, who was this Schumacher you say she was married to?
I don't know. What's all the mystery about her?
Oh, there's no mystery. She's restless, likes to move around.
Beneficiaries get paid off every day. Everything about this thing is normal but her. Why is she so hard to find?
Oh, maybe she don't want to get found by every Tom, Dick, and Harry passing through.
It's none of my business. I'm being paid to get her signature on a form, then she gets her money.
Are you from the West Coast?
No, I'm from Hartford.
Well, maybe I could locate her for you. What then?
I'll give you my card. You can phone me at my apartment.
That? Dollar, huh? All right, Dollar, I'll see what I can do.
Excelsior Hotel, good evening.
Mr. Carl Mason, please, is in room 216.
Just a moment, please.
Yes?
This is Dollar, Mr. Mason.
Oh, what luck have you had?
I'm not sure yet. Just got home from Middletown. I met a man down there who thought he knew where she was. Hey, what do you know about her?
Nothing at all. Why?
Well, it looks to me like she's on the run from something.
You know, I thought there was something funny about that place in Manchester. What else have you run into?
Well, it's just obvious that she wants to stay out of sight, that's all.
Well, we don't care about that. We just want to get our books clear.
Yeah. I gotta hang up now.
I'll be here if anything comes up.
All right. Bye, Mason.
This is him, Bert.
Get back inside, Dollar.
Well, it didn't take you long to get here, did it?
Stay away from the telephone. Sit down over here.
What's the automatic for?
To show you how serious we are about this.
About what?
You were talking to somebody named Mason. What's the rest of it?
Look, I'm not used to being pushed around in my own apartment. Don't push too hard or I might make you use that gun.
Calm down. Was it Carl Mason?
What if it was?
Where is he?
Go find him.
I don't want to beat it out of you if I don't have to.
Hey, Bert, never mind. Here it is. It's card by the telephone.
Give me that.
Get off, you.
Drop it, Dollar. Drop it. All right, come here.
I'll give you a chance to try that again, I promise you.
Come on, Dollar, get up. Happy, go get a dish towel or something to stop his head bleeding.
I don't owe it to him.
Come on, get up. Now, how much trouble are you going to give us?
How much do you want?
What do you know about all this?
Oh, what?
I want to know how much Mason told you.
About what?
About Jackie. Don't play it smart with me.
I couldn't if I wanted to. He didn't tell me anything.
Did he come alone?
Mason, how the devil should I know how he came?
Here's your towel, Dollar. You're wrecking your suit.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, sure.
You got a license in this state, so I'm going to take a chance on you.
What does that mean?
I want you to stop looking for Jackie. There's going to be trouble anyhow. But if you don't stop, there's going to be more. Let me see that card, Happy.
Yeah, that was handy, wasn't it?
The Excelsior.
Hey, what about Dollar?
I don't know. Be tough taking him with us. The way he looks, somebody'd notice him.
You want me to go down?
I better go, I guess. You stay here with him. Keep him away from that phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good luck, Bert.
Thanks. Give me 25 minutes, and you can get out of here. See you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
What's it all about, Happy?
Well, now, this thing is too big for the both of us, as they say. Now, don't talk about it. Just pretend you're here alone and your phone is out of order.
I thought I knew what to expect at the hotel after the one called Happy had left, and I was able to get down there. But I was only half right. Excuse me, could I get through, please?
Hey, mister, you can't go in there.
Here's my ID. I was working for Mason.
Oh, I'm the house detective. Come on.
Where is he?
In the bathroom. I closed the door.
He'd evidently been blasted into the bathroom by the shock of a heavy caliber gun that had taken him in the middle of the abdomen and the chest. But it wasn't Carl Mason. It was the gunman who'd come to kill him. The one called Bert.
We will return you to the second act of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in just a moment. You can sing it again for an hour tonight on most of these same CBS stations. And while you're enjoying this merry, tuneful hour with Jan Murray and the gang, maybe you'll get a phone call and a chance to solve the Phantom Voice mystery. The cash jackpot is the highest it's been in weeks. Be listening for Sing It Again this evening on CBS. And now with our star Edmund O'Brien, we return you to the second act of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Except for one unfortunate coincidence, I probably would have been able to drop the whole matter right there. And I would have, gladly. But it turned out that the lieutenant assigned the case was an acquaintance of mine. He had once informed me that a friend of his was on the state board from which I got my license, and he had never let me forget it.
Now, John, you tell me this fellow Mace hired you?
Name's Mason, Schiller. Carl Mason.
Oh, I jotted it down with a dull pencil. It's hard to read.
Yeah.
Mason. He hired you to get the signature of this Cleaver woman. Now, who is she?
I wish I knew. I wasn't able to find her.
Well, now, who did this Mason say she was?
It's pretty obvious he fed me a pack of lies. Looks like he hired me to put the finger on her.
Oh, why would he do that?
I don't know, Schiller. If I'd known, I wouldn't be here.
Now, you ought to be more careful who you hire out to, John. Now, let's see. You say that a second man named Happy held you in your apartment at gunpoint while the other one, the deceased, became this hotel room. Is that true?
Of course it's true. If you were any kind of a policeman, things like that wouldn't happen to honest taxpayers.
You haven't been in trouble in Hartford for quite a while, have you, John?
Not this kind.
I'm surprised you didn't try to notify the police prior to the shooting.
I did. Look at my head. And now you're asking me to risk infection just so you can write a lot of illegible nonsense in that notebook of yours.
John, let's start over in a better mood. The force has always cooperated with you. At least I have. You ought to be more thankful.
All right, Schiller. But please, put away the pencil. Let me tell you what I know. Mason evidently came from the West Coast to find the Cleaver woman.
Why the West Coast?
Well, he had forms and a business card from a Western insurance company. She had been receiving mail from California. The guy called Happy mentioned the West Coast. Now, how would that add up? Florida?
Yeah. Go ahead.
He's your man, Schiller. And he's going to be halfway back to the West Coast unless you remember your training and get some men to cover the airlines and railroads and get some roadblocks
Yeah,
out.
I was planning to.
You want anything more from me?
You can't just drop this thing, John. How would that look in my report?
What do you want me to do, Schiller?
Find that woman. No use my wasting men when you've already started on it.
Expense account item 3, $10 to the hotel doctor who stitched and bandaged my head. Item 4, $1.30, night letter to a West Coast detective agency asking for a rundown on both Carl Mason and Jackie Cleaver. Then at about 11, I started back to the hotel in Middletown.
Must have dropped off. Oh, it's you again.
Yeah. Where is everybody?
Who?
The guy who was in the lobby the last time I was here.
Place is all yours. Hasn't been a soul in since you left, I don't think.
Does he live here?
I'm not so sure I know just which one you mean.
I think you do. They call him Happy, which he isn't going to be when I find him.
I don't think I know him. What's the matter, honey?
Enough to make it smart for you to level with me, honey. The police aren't far behind me.
What do you want?
I want Happy. Does he live here?
No. He just hangs around once in a while. Got a girlfriend lives here.
Yeah? Where is she?
She's not home. She's sick in the hospital.
Which one?
The county hospital.
What's her name?
Nadine Williams. What's the matter with Happy?
He and another guy named Bert something teamed up to get rid of somebody, but it backfired. Bert was killed.
Oh.
What is there about Jackie Cleaver that could cause this trouble?
I don't know anything about it.
If you're holding things back from me, I can have the police drag you in.
I don't know what it's all about with Jackie. But I can tell you a few places where you might find Happy.
What's his real name?
Snell Chandler.
He was going to meet Bert tonight. Do you know where?
A couple of places. One's the Wigwam. That's a roadhouse on the highway south of here. The other's further. Tower in New London.
All right, I'll check him. If he happens to come in here again, tell him what happened. And tell him he can do himself some good by talking to me before the police get to him.
I don't think he'll come back here, not with trouble like this.
He probably doesn't know about it yet.
Oh, hadn't thought of that. All right, if I see him, I'll tell him what you said.
Say, I don't have the brand you ordered, but I got some others.
It's all right. Just any kind of dark rum.
This okay?
Sure.
Get a big call for rum when it's as cold as this. Try that.
That's fine. Say, has Happy Chandler been in tonight?
Happy who?
Not the famous one.
Oh, I thought you were pulling my leg. No, nobody with that name comes in here. We got a pretty steady set of customers here. Oh, once in a while, somebody driving by drops in. Maybe you got your signals mixed.
That could be.
Still, there isn't another wigwam around here that I know of.
Somebody told me he comes in here.
Not that I know of. How about another one?
No, thanks. What do I owe you?
50 cents.
Thanks.
Thank you. Sorry you got mixed up.
Dollar. Over here.
It's a lot warmer inside, isn't it, Happy?
No, I just got here. Look, May at the hotel gave you a bum steer, see? Don't be too rough on her. She has to play along with us, so she couldn't stay in business.
You're here. That's all I care about.
She phoned and told me what happened, so I came over here to talk it over with you. Bert didn't meet me, so I guess it's straight about him, huh?
You'll read about it.
Did Mason get away?
Temporarily. But I don't think he'll get out of the area. Police have it covered.
Well, I wish him luck. You told me I could do myself some good if I talked to you before the police pick me up.
That's the way I see it. You're in a bad spot. But if you play ball with me, I'll do the same for you.
Keep coming.
I didn't know who you were when you and Bert conspired for a killing. That's a rap. I might save you. The police don't have your name yet, or your description, or the name of the hotel in Middletown.
What do you want?
The Cleaver woman. She's the middle of this mess.
She's clean. She didn't do anything.
She must have to bring Mason all the way from the West Coast after her. Bert died trying to stop him. She must have done something to rate all that action.
I mean, as far as tonight goes, she's out of the picture. She doesn't even know what happened. What would you do with her?
The police want to talk to her. If she's clean, as you say, she shouldn't mind that.
Oh, I don't think she would.
You what?
What's the matter? Don't you believe me? She wouldn't. She's got no reason to be afraid of the police.
Well, it's holding us up then.
Well, it's too late tonight. Look, I got to make a couple of calls. You'll be in your apartment tomorrow morning. I'll phone you about 10.
Okay, Happy. I'd call myself stupid, except you showed up here tonight and you didn't have to.
You'll hear from me. I'll call at 10.
The first thing I got the next morning was the information I'd wired for. Carl Mason was a disbarred lawyer who had linked himself with a syndicate that until recently had controlled the wire service, etc., of 4 western states. The machine had been destroyed by the Supreme Court testimony of a state's witness. The rundown on Jackie Cleaver filled out the rest. She had been the witness. Johnny Dollar.
Dollar, this is Mason.
Who?
Carl Mason.
Oh, well.
I want to give myself up, Dollar, but I want you to take me in.
Why?
I've read the papers this morning. Since you were held by these gunmen, you'll be important to my plea.
What plea is that?
I can build the tightest case on self-defense Connecticut has ever seen, and you know it. You know that man was on his way to kill me.
Yeah?
But you were wrong about my motives for coming here. I didn't intend to do Miss Cleaver any harm.
I think you've made a good choice. It'd be tough to prove what your motives were.
I want your statement as part of the formal arrest. Where can I meet you and when?
Be better for me later in the day, maybe right afternoon. You all right where you are?
Yes, I think so.
It's a good thing you didn't try to leave town. They got everything covered.
I thought they would have. All right, Dollar. I'll wait where I am and call back at 12:30.
I'll be here. Goodbye. Hello?
Hey, your phone's been busy.
Oh, is this Happy?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Somebody had a job for me. What's happening with you?
Jackie's with me. What's the name of the cop in charge of Bert's killing?
Lieutenant Schiller.
Schiller. Schiller, is he a precinct man or from downtown?
Downtown.
You have him in his office at 11. Jackie will meet you there.
I'll meet her at the desk out front.
All right, I'll have her there.
And he did. I recognized her from the description as she walked through the door. Dark, nicely featured, and wearing conservative clothes. She held out a gloved hand when I told her who I was.
Well, Mr. Dollar, I didn't have any idea I was causing everyone so much trouble.
Well, you are hard to locate.
I've had to be. Where's the lieutenant?
This way. Lieutenant Schiller, this is Miss Jackie Cleaver.
Well, sit down, Miss Cleaver.
Thanks, Lieutenant. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Well, we've had ourselves a little trouble, haven't we?
I'm afraid so. I'm sorry, Lieutenant.
Oh, I don't blame you entirely. From what Dollar tells me, you're to be commended for testifying for the state out there.
I didn't know the secret was out, Mr. Dollar. Part of the agreement was to keep it.
I wired for some information on you.
What did you find out?
Only that your testimony put the syndicate out of business.
When you hear the rest, I know you won't talk about it outside this office. They've been very nice to me in payment for what I did for them. They understood, of course, that it wasn't safe for me out there, so they saw that I got here and have been sending a small amount of money twice a month.
It's not quite the accepted thing, is it?
My money is sent to a lawyer in Los Angeles who sends it on to me.
Well, I suppose they have their reasons, Dollar. That's none of our business.
I take it the syndicate learned where you were, huh?
You can't hide from those people. I don't know how they found me, but they did a few months ago. I've had to stay on the move ever since. I suppose not knowing that, you must have thought I was an arch criminal myself.
I was curious.
My friends here have done everything they could to help me. Poor Bert. I don't think he went to kill this Mason.
Why not?
Well, I think he went to frighten him away. Is there any news about Mason?
We'll haul him in. Don't you worry about that. He's ready to give himself up. It told Dollar this morning.
Oh. Well, I hope you get him. Maybe that'll put an end to it. Do you need me anymore, Lieutenant?
I don't think so. Do you, Dollar?
I guess not.
Well, I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused.
Well, now that we understand it, it's perfectly all right.
Mr. Dollar.
Thanks for coming in. I'm glad I finally met you. The second surrender, that of Mason, should have finished the whole thing, but it didn't. I waited for his call at my apartment. When it came, I met him, per instruction, in a drugstore a few blocks away. I made one mistake. I answered the only question he asked me.
You found Jackie Cleaver?
Yeah, I talked with her.
And I'll tell you what she said. The court thinks she's a brave, courageous woman. Arrangements have been made so that she gets paid for her service to it.
That's right.
Well, I'll put the lie to that.
What's the matter with it?
Well, she testified all right. She knocked our syndicate out so the one she was mixed up with could move in. What do you think of that?
Is it true?
Of course it's true. That prosecutor thought he was using her, but she was using him. The situation the way it is, she could perjure herself again to some federal investigators and make it look as though there was collusion between the state and the syndicate that moved in. Not true, but she could cause some heads to fall.
Glad I live in Connecticut.
Don't be stuffy.
Ready to go?
You're right, I'm ready. I don't care what the charges against me are, as long as I can get the truth about that character on record.
My car's outside. Down this way.
Don't forget, you heard those men say they were going to kill me. I want the arresting... Wait.
Yeah, that's the other one. Happy, what do you want?
Get out of the way, Dollar.
I've lived up to my part of the bargain. Come on. Let's play it out the right way.
Get out of the way.
Wait a minute, you.
Happy, get out of here.
No!
Said it should have ended when Mason gave himself up, but it didn't. Snell, Happy Chandler, was apprehended, but the search was on again for Jackie Cleaver. I wish them luck. They can have the job. Expense account item 5, $45.75 miscellaneous. Expense account total, $280. Remarks? Since Mason actually had nothing to do with the Sierra All-Risk Insurance Company, I hardly expect you to honor this account, but you should. It should be worth that to learn what goes on behind your back. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, stars Edmund O'Brien in the title role and is written by Gil Dowd with music by Wilbur Hatch. Edmund O'Brien's latest picture is the Paramount Pictures production Warpath. Featured in tonight's cast were Ed Begley, Dick Ryan, Mary Lansing, Sidney Miller, Tim Graham, Virginia Gregg, Hy Averback, and Jim Nusser. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is transcribed in Hollywood by Jaime Del Valle. This is Dan Coverly inviting you to join us next week at this time when Edmund O'Brien will return as...
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
If you've ever tried to read a book in a bad light, you know the irritation that can be caused by tired eyes, by a sick, nagging headache. This same irritation may be causing your boy or girl to lose valuable study hours in school. Bad lighting may be dragging down their grades. Your community school is your responsibility. Do all you can to keep its classrooms well-lighted, modern in every respect. Remember, better schools mean better students, better citizens tomorrow. Now stay tuned for the Von Monroe Caravan, which follows immediately on most of these same CBS stations. Wanted by your American Red Cross immediately, 4,000 emergency blood donors. The recent influenza epidemic severely curtailed the shipment of life-giving blood to wounded GIs. This blood is needed urgently. Become a Red Cross blood donor now. Call your local Red Cross office at once for an appointment. This is CBS, where you laugh at Jack Benny every Sunday night, the Columbia Broadcasting System. From Hollywood, it's time now for Edmund O'Brien as...
Johnny Dollar.
Bob Redden, Johnny.
Oh, yeah, Bob. What's this? You checking to see if I'm stalling on your case?
Oh, nothing like that, Johnny.
Well, in a way, I am. I traced one of the beneficiaries to Chicago, and I've been waiting all morning for a wire on it.
We want you to drop the case.
What? You capitulating?
This is a bad week for Great Eastern. We want you to take another one. We carry a theft policy on a West Coast loan company. 3 of the branches in San Francisco were just robbed.
Uh-oh. When?
Just a matter of hours ago.
You mean all of them?
Yeah, all this morning. There was one other that wasn't ours. I got a phone call. I haven't even figured the loss yet, but it'll be way up. We'd like you to get right on it.
Sure, Bob. I'll get a plane this evening.
Edmund O'Brien in another adventure of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Great Eastern Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Porter Cole matter. Expense account item 1, $180 airfare and incidentals between Hartford and San Francisco, California. At 11, after I'd found a hotel room and breakfast, I cabbed to police headquarters, where I was shown to robbery detail and the office of a harried Lieutenant Clark.
I'm not making excuses. They put us off balance, that's all. We got the call from the place on Market Street at 9:15 yesterday morning, just a few minutes after they'd opened. While we were down there, the call came in from the Mission District. Same loan company, different branch. Then, not 40 minutes later, the other company was hit.
Quite an operation. They hit the 4th one at 5 minutes of 11.
I tell you, we had more officers on the streets than there were civilians. There hasn't been as much confusion since the quake and fire of 1906. And look here.
This is your list of witnesses?
Yeah. You can see only about 35 out of the 53 names were employees of these loan companies. They're the ones we're sure saw this bunch.
What do they give you?
You know how it goes. You have to make a sort of composite of the statements. Seems this bunch would come in, from 8 to 10 of them, all armed. 2 would take care of any customers that happened to be in the waiting room, kick them to the floor face down, and the rest would cover the office for us and knock over the cashier.
What kind of disguises?
And some say none. Others think they saw makeup, stage makeup, you know, lines and the stuff to change the shape of the nose and so on. I'll go along with that.
Yeah, that'd be some kind of disguise.
What I got on the rest of their physical descriptions doesn't exactly hurt, but it doesn't help any either.
Not even ages? What about voices?
Only one did the talking in a high voice. Falsetto, not a woman.
Pretty well planned job, wasn't it?
4 in the space of 2 hours for $47,000? I'd say it was well planned. No prints, nobody spotted any cars, but they must have used at least 2, probably with a driver for each.
What did the rest of these witnesses see?
Oh, some of them are cranks. Some of them claim they saw the bunch come out of the buildings but didn't think anything about it until the news began to break on the robberies and so on. You know witnesses.
Beginning to wish they'd sent another boy from Hartford.
I wish I'd stayed in homicide. With the killing, you've at least got a stiff to work from. Yes? No, I don't want to talk to him. Tell him I'm grilling a hot suspect in Daly City. What a comedian.
Who's that?
The manager of that outfit you're interested in. Wants to know if I'm doing anything. The Porter Cole Loan Company.
That's a great name.
Do you know what their motto is?
Yeah, I saw it.
When financial seas are troubled, make us your Porter Cole. Now tell me, what self-respecting grifter could pass up an invitation like that?
San Francisco is a city of bridges with few other exits. All of these had been covered in less than an hour after the first robbery report had been phoned in. To double-check, the adjoining counties had been alerted and were swarming with men. San Francisco itself was being combed for known criminals. That left little for me to do but hang around robbery detail and wait for developments. Lieutenant Clark had been on the phone for half the afternoon, and I was in his office at 5 when it rang again.
Yes? Well, how are you, Bruce? Well, I could use something. What is it? How would that fit? Oh. Good, I do. Well, thanks a lot, Bruce. Well, it'll be a change of scenery anyway.
Something up?
That was missing persons. A woman reported her husband missing since sometime yesterday. It's a cab driver.
That's a possibility, isn't it?
I never gave it a thought. Why is it you always connect private cars to jobs like this?
Well, it's natural to pass up cabs. They're usually a close check kept on them.
Well, we'll see. She's on her way down. I'd like to have you see her, too.
Yeah, sure.
This is Mrs. Geyer, Lieutenant Clark. I've gotten her report and told her you wanted to talk to her.
Oh, good. Thanks, Bruce.
What do you want to talk to me for? Joe hasn't done nothing wrong, has he?
Not that we know of, Mrs. Geyer.
He wouldn't do nothing wrong. He never has. Who are you?
I'm not a policeman, if that's what you mean, Mrs. Geyer.
What are you doing here? I don't understand this.
Well, I'm interested in another case that Lieutenant Clark is working on. Do you think something happened to your husband? That he had an accident in his cab? Something like that?
He didn't have an accident. His company would have known.
What company's that?
Peerless. It's a new one.
Didn't they know he was missing?
How would they know?
Doesn't he check his cab in with the company?
No, it don't work that way. He owes his old cab. Just an agreement about money and gas and a license, and then I don't understand it because Joe never talks about business. Why are you asking me these questions?
Don't you read the papers, Mrs. Geyer?
No, I don't have time with 3 kids and a roomer to take care of. What if I did read them? Does it say they found Joe dead someplace?
Nothing like that, Mrs. Geyer. I'm sorry I mentioned it.
What do they say? I got a right to know. I'll buy a paper for the streetcar on the way home anyway.
There were 4 robberies yesterday, big ones. None of the witnesses saw the cars the men got away in. Maybe they wouldn't notice a taxi.
Are you saying you think Joe was in on it?
Not necessarily, no.
Police have to ask questions like that, Mrs. Geyer.
He wouldn't do nothing wrong like that. Even if he did, I'd know about it. And do you think I'd come down here like this?
Of course not.
Doesn't your husband ever stay away from home this long?
No, not without calling me from someplace. That's why I got to worrying and never called at all yesterday.
What time did he leave yesterday morning?
I told the other cop that.
Why don't you tell us?
It was right before 8.
I think Mrs. Geyer can go now, don't you, Mr. Dollar?
I think she should. Go home and don't worry, Mrs. Geyer. We'll find your husband.
He's got to come back. I don't know how I'll manage with the kids if he don't.
We'll find them. You know the way out, don't you?
Yeah, this way?
That's right. Then down the corridor.
What do you think?
I don't know. That's why I had to try the robberies out on her. She could have been here to put the finger on the husband who double-crossed her. She seemed to be sure he hadn't had an accident.
Yeah, that's right.
There must be a reason all those witnesses didn't see a private car.
That figures, too.
I'll put a tail on her right now.
A phone call to the Peerless Cab Company got the number and description of Joe Guyer's cab, and a police tracer was put out on that. I think the harried lieutenant beamed a little too graciously when I asked permission to check the other Peerless drivers myself. But I did, 75 of them. Only one hadn't been heard from in the past 28 or 9 hours. Paul Landini, with an address on Turk Street, an apartment house whose manager boarded some of the tenants, among them Landini.
Who knows about Paul ever? He wasn't here for the meal last night, but what is that?
You live alone here?
Yes.
I take it you mean he was off and away from home at dinner time.
He had personality. He often goes someplace else to eat.
Do you know if he came home at all last night?
My tenants live their own lives. I don't run a girls' school here.
Did you show me his apartment?
Why should I?
I told you it might be very important.
You didn't tell me what you mean.
He might even be dead.
Oh, not Paul. Why do you want to look in his apartment?
I don't expect to find him there, but there's a chance of finding something else.
What?
I don't know. I told you this was police business. You want to cooperate or don't you?
Oh, sure I do. I'll take you up.
I didn't find even a trace of a lead in Landini's apartment. Lieutenant Clark, when I talked to him, had the same report to make on his tale of Mrs. Joe Geyer. By then, it was time to have a late dinner and go to bed, which is what I did. The next morning, the two missing drivers and their cabs still had not been found. The police report on Mrs. Geyer hadn't offered anything. The $47,000 in stolen funds could have been that many miles away from San Francisco. Through the morning and early afternoon, a dozen general suspects were questioned and released. And then, sometime after 3, the body of a man was found floating in a slough in the upper reaches of the bay. He fitted the description of Joe Geyer, and an hour or so later, his wife arrived to make identification.
Mrs. Geyer, could you swear that this body is that of your husband, Joseph Geyer?
No. No, it's not Joe.
Mrs. Geyer, he fits your description of your husband.
I don't care. It's not Joe.
You sure you aren't holding anything back from us?
Yeah, I'm sure it's not Joe. I'd know my own husband, wouldn't I?
Yes, you would, Mrs. Geyer.
My husband was dead, and this was him. I'd tell you, wouldn't I?
I hope so. I think you would.
Why wouldn't I? It's not Joe. I don't know who it is. I never saw him in my whole life, and I can prove it. I swear it, I never saw this man in my whole life.
We will return you to the second act of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in just a moment. There's one married couple you can always depend on for fun on Saturday evenings, and to invite them over is as easy as staying tuned to CBS. They're Lucille Ball and that man she calls my favorite husband. And a nice thing about them is you don't have to get involved in the strange predicaments they get into. All you have to do is sit back and laugh at the results. How's for asking them in this evening? Lucille Ball and my favorite husband will be waiting on most of these same CBS stations. Now, with our star, Edmund O'Brien, we return you to the second act of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Mrs. Geyer was released not because we believed in her lack of identification, but because we thought there were better ways to approach her than hard police questioning. I arrived at her small frame house not long after she had.
What do you want?
I thought I'd better come and see you.
You can't come in.
I want to help you if I can.
Should I need any help from you? I don't need any. Go away.
Wait a minute.
Get your foot out. You got no right to do this.
Now, wait a minute. There are other ways to identify that body, and you'll be in trouble, won't you?
I don't care. It wasn't Joe.
Open the door, Mrs. Geyer.
You can't come in.
Why did you get so upset if it wasn't your husband? You cried.
I couldn't help it. Never saw a dead body before. I went to pieces thinking, what if it had been Joe?
You know, the police think you're lying.
I am not. Why should I? Joe hasn't done nothing wrong, and I haven't either. Now go away and leave me alone. I got ironing to do.
Because when you've been in that business as long as I have, you learn to study people.
Now, that's fine. This is Mr. Dollar, the man I mentioned from the insurance company.
Oh, yes. Well, how do you do, sir?
This is Mr. Prince, the cashier at the Port of Call office in the Mission.
No. Oh, it's nice to know you, Mr. Prince.
Thank you.
He looked at that body, and he seems to be fairly sure that it's the one who did the talking during the robbery at his place.
I'm sure it is.
Oh, I hope you're right.
Oh, of course. He did look different with that makeup, his nose, and his cheekbones.
Yeah, but you're still sure.
Yes, I am. I've been with the Port of Call for almost 10 years. And as I was telling Lieutenant Clark, when you've been in the loan business as long as that, you learn to study people.
I suppose you would.
You meet so many, and while they're talking about the loan they want, you sort of unconsciously study them to try and find out how much truth they're telling. But, I remember that man, though, makeup or no, yes.
What in particular do you remember?
Oh, a lot of things. He walked right up to me, you know. I remember his eyes and his ears, and I remember his hands. They were manicured. And he wore a ring on his third finger left.
There's polish on the nails, all right. He didn't have a ring when he was brought in, but there's the mark of one, and it's third finger left.
I wish there were more witnesses like you.
Well, thank you.
Than's very much for coming down, Mr. Prince.
Well, that's quite all right.
And I hope we don't have to trouble you again.
Well, there's no trouble at all, Lieutenant. I'll be glad to be of service to you. Good day.
Good day,
Goodbye,
Mr. Prince.
Yeah, looks like we've got that much anyway, Dollar. Run quite a few of the loan company people past the body, and almost half thought he was the one, the falsetto.
Well, that's something, but dead men don't answer many questions.
I've noticed that. I understand Mrs. Geyer didn't answer many either.
How did you... Oh, you still got men on it, huh?
Yeah, I haven't been able to spare any relief, so that pair I assigned yesterday's been on the plant day and night. So when somebody finally showed up, they thought they'd broken the case. They didn't know you.
She wouldn't let me in, and she didn't change her story.
We'll check it. We've got a man from the cab company coming down.
Lieutenant, didn't she say that she had a roomer yesterday? Remember, she asked if she'd read the paper, and she said
Yes, by that time I'd asked a few thousand questions.
She did. She said she didn't have time to read the paper with 3 kids and a roomer to take care of.
I think I remember that.
Well, that's something we should check. Your men say that outside of me, nobody has shown up at her house, huh? Even staying out last night, you'd think this room had come back sometime for clothes or for something.
We'll try it. Bruce, send 2 plainclothesmen out to the Geyer home on 4th Avenue and talk to the neighbors on each side. I need somebody who knows the Geyer's roomer by sight. I want them to look at a body.
Lights are on. I guess she's home.
Which one is it?
One with a porch light.
Sure turning into a nice night.
Yeah.
10 o'clock?
Huh? Oh, Pritchard.
What are you doing out here, sir?
I'm going to talk to the woman.
A note for me relief?
I'll have a relief out here in an hour. 9 o'clock. That's a promise. Sorry about the rain.
Yes.
I'm afraid you'll have to let us in this time, Mrs. Geyer.
What are you talking about?
This is a warrant. We're here legally. I want you to tell me the truth. When did you last see the man who rooms here?
I don't know. I don't remember.
That isn't the truth. You saw him this afternoon.
You saw him at the morgue and you didn't tell us who he was. Why not?
Don't you wake up my kids.
Answer my questions, Mrs. Geyer.
I was afraid to tell you.
Why were you afraid?
Because with Joe gone like this, I thought something happened. I know I should have told you, but I couldn't. He's my husband.
What were you afraid had happened?
Joe and me argued sometimes about Mr. Grace.
Grace? What's his first name?
I thought you knew about him.
The neighbors identified his body, but they couldn't remember his name.
His name was Ted Grace.
Your husband was jealous of Grace, Mrs. Geyer?
And we argued sometimes. He was a salesman, and some weeks he'd have a lot of money, and I told Joe he ought to sell his cab and be a salesman, too. He got the wrong idea and thought I was falling for Mr. Grace. I wasn't. And I couldn't ever make him believe me all the way.
Why did he let Grace live here if he felt that way?
He needed the money.
Do you think your husband killed Grace?
I don't know. I'm afraid to tell you. I knew Mr. Grace for fear he did.
That's what happened. He didn't kill him out of jealousy. Grace was mixed up in those robberies I told you about. Do you remember?
I got the newspapers.
That's what we're here to clear up. We want you to tell us everything you know about Grace.
I never talked to him much. How do you know he was mixed up in it?
You'll have to take our word for that. Come on, you must know something about him. How long has he been living here?
About 6 months.
You know where he came from?
He never said.
He must have had some friends. Didn't anybody come to see him?
No.
You have a telephone. Did anybody ever phone him?
Yeah, a man used to call him.
The same one all the time?
Yes.
Must have given you his name sometime.
No, he didn't.
Did he ever call while Ted Grace was gone?
Yeah, once in a while.
What then? Didn't Grace leave a number or someplace where he could be reached?
Usually a place called a Furlong over on Fulton.
Why didn't you tell us that? Why do we have to drag these things out of you? What else are you holding back from us?
Nothing. I just can't think. I just can't think of anything, but where's Joe and why don't he come back?
Wasn't there anything different the morning he left?
No, nothing.
Was Grace here at that time?
He left, too.
About the same time?
Right after. Joe's mixed up in those robberies. It's my fault because I talk so much about money. Well, he can hate me for that, but what about the kids? He can't leave them for me to take care of alone, can he?
We better take a look at Grace's room, don't you think, Lieutenant?
Which one is it, Mrs. Geyer?
Ted Grace's effects told a lot more about him than his landlady had. A drawer full of racing forms made it appear that the man who phoned had probably been his bookie. The colors of Ted Grace's ties and shirts, an array of cheap men's toiletries, painted a pretty good picture of the character he'd been. But the contents of the wastepaper basket made him out the mastermind of the whole series of robberies. Shredded paper. We didn't try to assemble all the pieces there, but we fished through enough to learn they'd been applications for loans from the victim companies.
Made out while he cased the offices. Look at the blank side.
Yeah, floor plans drawn out. Hey, look here, a name, Tony. Positions, movements were marked down, too.
Here's another name, Mark.
Yeah.
Let's not waste any more time here. I'll take them down to headquarters, get somebody to paste them up.
I guess we've covered the place all right. Pretty obvious he expected to come back here, though.
Yeah. I have a feeling the rest of them might still be in the city.
Me, too. I think that might have been the plan.
You going now?
Yeah, we'll go.
Unless you have something more to tell us.
I don't know any more to tell you. All this big mess, and I don't understand any of it. I don't know what it's all about.
Well, we're sorry it happened. Hope it'll turn out all right for you. Good night, Miss Guy.
Lieutenant Clark,
Yes, Pritchard.
the radio car stopped by with a message for you. But I didn't want to come in with a woman there. Her husband's dead. So's the other driver, Landini.
Where were they found?
In their cabs in the vacant garage out toward the beach.
Who's on it?
Lieutenant McMillan.
All right, I'll contact him.
And don't forget our reliefs.
I won't. Well, there goes Geyer and Landini.
Elimination for more profit?
That or cutting the links between the rest of the bunch and the only tangible things we had, the cabs.
That could be. If you want to drop me at that bar she mentioned, the Furlong, I'll see what I can pick up there.
Sure, if you want to. I'll stay in my office till I hear from you.
Good evening, sir.
Hi. I guess a rye and soda.
Oh, you must be an Easterner. I don't get many calls for rye except from you.
Well, that's almost right. I transplanted myself out here. Say, I'm looking for a guy I think you know, Ted Grace. Has he been in tonight?
Who?
Ted Grace. I understand he's in here quite a bit.
Wait till I find that rye bottle. This all right?
Yeah, it's fine.
You see, I'm not the regular bartender. I don't know your friend, by name, anyway.
Thanks. That's all right.
Thanks.
Hey, what about a couple of guys Ted knows, then? One named Mark, the other's Tony something.
No, guess I can't help you. I usually work a place down on Gary. I don't know this one very well.
Well, it's not important. I'll look around, maybe come back. See you later.
Yeah. Good night.
Hey, Tony, send over another scotch and soda for Edna, will you? Hey, Tony, over here's me.
It was hard not to turn around, or at least stop moving, but I managed to walk out as if I hadn't heard, turn down the sidewalk for a count of 5, and then back to the window. Tony was forgetting his customers. He was heading towards the rear of the room. When he got there, he disappeared into a phone booth. I've heard that a lot of cases are broken through a stroke of luck, but it very seldom happens to me. My own phone call from a gas station brought Lieutenant Clark and an extra squad car to the Furlong Bar in less than 20 minutes. The place was cleared of people, and Tony stood alone behind the bar, giving away his guilt by his expression and the apron he kept twisting in his hand.
Leave your apron alone.
What is all this?
Who did you phone right after I left?
Home, to say I'd be late.
That's not true. The call was traced.
You're crazy. How could you trace it?
If you were calling home, why should you care if it was traced or not? Now, who did you call?
I can make a phone call if I want to, can't I?
That isn't the question. What makes you so nervous?
You guys busting in like this, what do you expect?
Find a guy named Tony. What's your last name, Tony?
Cunliffe.
That's what I came here for, too, Tony. When we found him, all we were going to do was ask him to tell us where he was the other morning while those loan company officers were being knocked over. And if he couldn't, we were going to see him booked for 3 killings. Ted Grace and Joe Geyer and Paul Landini.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're bluffing, but you're bluffing the wrong guy.
I'm glad to hear that. We wouldn't want to see an innocent man booked for something he didn't do. So let's clear it up. How do we start proving where you were between 9 and about 11 the other morning?
Come on, where were you?
I was home, asleep.
Then a lot of people must hate you.
Who?
The people who said they saw you leave your place about 8 o'clock.
What's the use? I don't know if you're bluffing or not.
We aren't. In Grace's room, we found the floor plans of all those offices with the names of all of you. He talked to Joe Guy's wife. She knew about you and Mark.
You just made a confession. Do you want to take the whole rap yourself?
No. If I'd known there was going to be any killing, I wouldn't have got mixed up in it. When there was, I knew the whole thing would blow up.
Who did the killing?
There were 3 of them. Harvey Shute, Vic Lincoln, and Neil White. I'm not sure which one did.
Who were they?
I don't know. They got out of prison someplace in the east about 6 months ago. We met them and got running around with them. We'd been playing the horses, not doing so well. And they said if we got a big stake, they knew how to make a killing. That's the way it started.
Who's we, Tony?
My friends, Mark Rose and Leo Barrett, Ted Grace.
Is that all?
I'm giving you my friends. That's enough, isn't it?
What about Joe Geyer?
No, they just called him to get his cab to use instead of cars. He wasn't in it.
That was Ted Grace's idea.
I guess so. The smart guy.
You were all pretty smart.
What about Landini?
He was called, too. I don't know what happened. They went crazy after we got the money. They were like different people that I didn't know. Could have killed all of us if we crossed them.
Are they on narcotics?
I don't know. I don't know much about that. They could have been.
Where are they?
Might as well tell you, I guess. The whole thing is blown wide open. They're staying in the Metropolitan Auto Court out on Bayshore Highway.
Which cabin?
Second one on the right.
Where's the money?
We split it before we separated. You could have my share. I wish you would buy back the last few days.
Come on, Tony. I'll send you down to the station.
Two more squad cars had been added by the time we got started. No trouble was expected or had picking up the other 2 San Francisco men, Mark Rose and Leo Barrett. But at the Metropolitan Auto Court, where the 3 ex-convicts were staying, trouble was expected.
Well, I think that's about the best we can do. There are 2 exits. We've got both of them covered.
The other people who might be staying here?
Well, they'll be all right, even if there's firing, as long as we can keep these comedians inside, or at least just trying to get out.
Well, that's your case.
We'll have to try to it anyway. I'll go wake them up. If this gale hasn't already.
Now, don't be a hero.
You in there, open up. I'm a police officer. Lieutenant Clark!
Lieutenant!
I shot the lieutenant! Cover me on the door, Hudson!
Watch the window! Get down, Sergeant! When it was finished, one of them was alive. The other 2 in the cabin were ripped to pieces. But that and the recovery of the money hardly paid for the loss of Lieutenant Clark, who died before he reached the hospital. Expense account item 2, $75.30, miscellaneous in San Francisco. Item 3, same as item 1, transportation back to Hartford. Expense account total, $450.60. Remarks? It probably isn't important, but there's an odd commentary to this. The gunfight and Lieutenant Clark's death made only a column on page 2 of the morning paper. The storm he died in grabbed the page 1 headlines. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, stars Edmund O'Brien in the title role and is written by Gil Dowd with music by Wilbur Hatch. Edmund O'Brien's latest picture is a Paramount Pictures production, Warpath. Featured in tonight's cast were Howard McNear, Ed Begley, Hy Averback, Jim Nusser, Virginia Gregg, and Janet Scott. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is produced and directed by Jaime Del Valle. This is Dick Cutting, inviting you to join us next week at the same time when Edmund O'Brien returns as...
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
You can sing it again this evening on CBS, and if Dan Seymour calls you, maybe you can sing it out the name of the fabulous Phantom and win $5,000 in cold hard cash, plus $10,000 more in fine prizes. Worth it? You bet it is. For Sing It Again also brings you a whole hour of grand musical fun as you listen to Alan Dale, Judy Lynn, Bob Howard, the Riddlers, and Ray Bloch's orchestra. Sing It Again comes to you every Saturday evening on most of these same CBS stations. Sing it again this evening, won't you? And now, stay tuned for Vaughn Monroe's Caravan, which follows immediately on most of these same CBS stations. This is CBS, where everyone laughs at Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy every Sunday night. The Columbia Broadcasting System.